Prior to 2016, the leading cause of death among teens was motor vehicle crashes. Firearm-related deaths were second and suicide was third.
As suicide became the second leading cause of death amongst teenagers in 2016, the number has only continued to increase since then. According to the New England Journal of Medicine, from 2019 to 2020, the percentage increased to 29.5%, which is more than twice of the general increase of the population.
So why is this number rising? It's important to understand that most teenagers are undergoing the most growth they will during their lifetime. Nowadays, teens have to worry about school, maybe work, family problems, their identity, struggling friendships, and the list goes on.
It is not uncommon for most teenagers to struggle with some sort of mental illness. Those that do suffer from mental illnesses are at a higher risk for developing suicidal tendencies, such as self-harm. Teens also going through major life changes, such as moving, witnessing their parents' divorce, or major financial changes, are also at a greater risk. So, because teens are undergoing the most changes they ever will in their lifetime, you can say that this major life altercation can lead to a rise in mental health issues.
This poses the question, how do we tackle the rise in mental health concerns with teens? If so many teenagers are suffering from a mental disorder, why hasn't something been done sooner? Why are we just starting to approach this issue in 2022? But also, how do we make it easier for teens to open up about their struggles? The reason why so many cases go unnoticed is because many are scared they'll be judged for what they say.
This is where stigma comes into effect. Stigma is defined as a negative attitude towards someone or something based on distinguishing characteristics.
Now, on top of creating a solution to the rise of teenage suicide, we also need to ease the stigma around mental health. This is a lot that needs to be accomplished. Where do we start?
Mary and I had the honor of speaking to Stacy Liss. Miss Liss is the clinical supervisor at The Source located at Red Bank Regional High School. The Source is a counseling program offered at RBR to help students dealing with a multitude of different issues. We discussed how, as a school, RBR can deal with the rise in teenage mental health issues and eliminate the stigma surrounding mental health.
So first, can you explain to us what you do?
So my role here at The Source, which is Red Bank Regional School-Based Youth Service Program, is I'm the clinical supervisor. So I supervise the clinicians in The Source as well as some social work interns. And we are all licensed clinicians, and the social work interns are in graduate school to become therapist clinicians.
Can you also explain to us what The Source is and what it does to improve RBR student body's mental health?
Okay, so The Source is a school-based youth service program. We are funded through the Department of Children and Families in New Jersey, and Red Bank Regional High School, the Board of Education is our partner. And we call ourselves The Source because basically our mission is to remove whatever obstacles are getting in the way of the student's education and to help them be well-rounded, both emotionally, socially, and in preventative health, reproductive health, all areas of our lives.
So, in your experience, how many students seemed overly stressed and overworked by school?
So, I've been in the field for a long time. I've been in the field for 28 years. I've been here for 23 of those years, so I'm really old. But I have seen a huge increase in students needing support, feeling pressure, feeling stress. If you're talking specifically school-related, there's been a huge increase in students who, are overachievers. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be a high achiever, but students who are overachievers who never quite are satisfied. I've seen an increase in that. I've seen an increase in just stress and anxiety in all students over the years. We go into the classrooms, we do education every year for the health education classes on suicide prevention and awareness, and we're able to provide support for families and do special presentations for staff. So, we get to do a lot of stuff that other schools don't have a chance to do.
Final question. What can both the school and students do to help support each other and improve their mental health, especially as final season approaches?
Okay. So if you're really concerned about someone, a classmate or a friend or family member, really try to take them by the hand and bring them down to their school counselor or to a teacher that's trusted or to us in the source. I do know for a fact that you all support each other to the point of sometimes being each other's therapists, right? And that could kind of cross some lines, especially if you're up all night talking to friends literally off the edge, and especially if we're talking about self-injury or harm or someone's life being at risk. So if you can't get your friend to agree to talk to a trusted adult, you can come down to your counselor or the source and confidentially share your concerns. Because I've been told by students that I'd rather have told about my concern for my friend and have them even maybe mad at me for a day than have them risk losing them as a friend, right? Like them being suicidal or something radical like that. So I think to be good friends, to share with your friends that there's no harm and it doesn't mean you're weak. In fact, it means you're really strong, to ask for support.
After speaking with Mrs. Liss, Megan and I decided to speak with students at RBR. We wanted to see how programs such as The Source have helped students. Here are some of their responses. Hello, what's your name?
Ben Peters.
What's your opinion on The Source?
I think it's very good that we have it. I think it's really valuable for a lot of kids that need it.
Have you ever used The Source?
I have not.
Have you ever been diagnosed?
Yes.
What? With what?
ADHD, anxiety, and depression.
How has that affected your performance at school?
Can I say a lot? Like it is a lot. School's tough, man. No, it's not. No, it's rough. Sometimes it gets really hard to just have the motivation to do schoolwork.
Have you ever sought help from The Source?
Yes.
Has it been helpful?
All 3 times? Yes.
So I'm guessing your opinion of The Source is good.
Yeah, but just sometimes it's hard because they want to play you out in school and sometimes you need to focus.
Hi, what's your name?
I'm Jesse Cardoza.
Have you ever been diagnosed with mental illnesses?
Yes, I have.
Which ones?
Depression and anxiety.
Has the school ever accommodated to those mental illnesses?
Yeah. I do regularly visit The Source.
How has The Source helped you?
I think The Source has helped me provide connections to mental health services that I'm currently working on.
Do you feel like more schools should incorporate programs like The
Absolutely,
Sources?
yeah.
All right, thank you.
The Source has been beneficial to many students at Red Bank Regional High School, which is evident through the student interviews that Mayor and I conducted. Although we only spoke to a small handful of students, based on the mostly positive responses we received when we questioned fellow students at RBR, it can be inferred that programs such as The Source, for example, are very effective in aiding students.
If the other counseling programs like The Source can be implemented at other schools, not just in the state of New Jersey, but across the country, we may start to see a decrease in the amount of students struggling with their mental health. As stated by Bradley University in the positive impact school counselors can have on students, a number of studies have shown that students tend to perform better academically when there are strong counseling programs in place at their school. For example, the article cited an aforementioned 1997 study from LePan, Geispers, and Son, which found that high school students tend to achieve higher GPAs at schools with better counseling resources.
This is exactly why it is vital for all students to receive some type of counseling offered by their school if they need it. We are given presentation after presentation on why it is important to speak up if we need help in any way, shape, or form, but all schools need to start putting their words into practice. Based on the student responses we gathered, alongside the conversation we had with Ms. Liss, it is clear that school counseling programs can go an extremely long way to help students with their mental health.